I'm going to bring back a segment that we really liked here at the show last week, and that's the Survivor pick. I figure, I can't help you win your fantasy matchup. I got drilled last week. Like, people think that people who work in NFL media are magically really great at fantasy football. Couldn't be further from the truth. I cannot help you win your fantasy matchup. But I do think I can help you make informed picks at Survivor. And these days, that seems just as popular as fantasy football. So why not give you some thoughts to mull over as you consider who to pick? Looking at the week 4 slate, I don't think this is a fun week to get cute. Like, there are fun weeks to do that. I did it in week 3. Picked the Seattle Seahawks to take care of Carolina. It was stressful for a little bit, but they got it done. I don't think this is the week for that. A lot of tight matchups in the NFL in week 4. As I'm recording this, half of the games, so 8 of the 16, have a line of 3 or less. So, I mean, 8 of 16 are seen as near toss-ups by Vegas. In fact, 2 of those 8 are an even line, which means Vegas is basically like, I don't know, flip a coin. So that's what you're looking at here. Like, you're not going to find very many lopsided matchups, and the ones that are incredibly obvious. We'll get to that in a minute. There's a litany of quarterback concerns to consider. Looks like Bryce Young's going to play for Carolina against Minnesota, but we know he has a gimpy ankle, so keep that in mind. Saints are being very coy with Derek Carr's status heading into a division game against Tampa. You might see Jameis Winston there. Jimmy Garoppolo and Anthony Richardson still in concussion protocol as of right now. It looks more like Richardson's going to play for the Colts than Garoppolo, but again, something to watch heading into the weekend. And then there's 3 really obvious ones. Philly's at home against Washington. San Francisco's at home against Arizona. And you've got Kansas City going on the road to take on Zach Wilson and the Jets. I don't think you can go wrong. And depending on how you've played this, I think you have the freedom to be creative. Hopefully you haven't burned too many heavyweights through the first 3 weeks of the season. For me, my picks to this point have been Baltimore, the New York Giants, and the Seattle Seahawks. So I feel great about, okay, we're a quarter of the way into the season. I've got no problem burning a Super Bowl contender on Survivor. I don't think you can go wrong. We saw what a great defense did to Sam Howell last week. Buffalo just murked him for 9 sacks and 5 turnovers. We know what Kansas City looked like against the Bears. We know what Zach Wilson looks like throwing the ball. I don't think you can go wrong there. For me, I'm going to go with the 49ers, which maybe sounds crazy because we just saw Arizona upset Dallas literally earlier this week, but I just think the Niners are absolutely loaded. They're at home. They're sound on both sides of the ball. And the Cardinals are no longer sneaking up on anyone if they were. Beating Dallas by 12 points is going to have Arizona right on San Francisco's radar. I don't see them sleeping for that game, not with a chance to go to 2-0 in the division. Give me the Niners to take care of business. I wouldn't think too hard about this. If you insist on being sneaky, if you have burned through a lot of great teams and you want to try to pull one over on people, I hate myself for saying this, but if I had to think outside the box, I'd probably pick the Chargers at home against Las Vegas. That's assuming Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play, and we'll see what happens there. But if it's Brian Hoyer or if it's Aiden O'Connell starting for Vegas, I know it's the Chargers. I know calamity seems to follow them wherever they go, but the Chargers offense has been phenomenal this season. Justin Herbert has yet to turn the ball over. They've been good in the red zone with Kellen Moore. Playing at home probably doesn't mean a whole lot because there's a ton of Raider fans in Los Angeles, but I think they're a much better team, and there's a good chance they'll be playing against a lesser quarterback. And don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, you should just pick an easy team. But if I had to think outside the box, I hate myself, but I would ride with the LA Chargers